So today's day 3, and I wanted to do a little more of a how-to on how I got this, because I feel like there's a lot of people who want to get into this industry and don't really know how. I say this a lot. I'm just going to get comfortable so I can tell this story. Okay, so I say this a lot, or I started out in the entrepreneurial game, I suppose, when I was in high school, buying and selling electronics, mostly iPods, and I found that was my niche, was iPods. So I would buy iPods from people and say, my sales pitch was, you have a job, you're in school, or whatever it is that you do, and you have an iPod that you're not using. And every day that you don't use it, Apple is pumping out hundreds and hundreds more onto the streets, which is decreasing the value of your iPod. So it is not appreciating. It will never get to be worth more than it is today. And my sales pitch was just that. Yeah, you can get more if you put it on eBay, sure. You're going to wait longer than I will, because I have done this for a long time, and I have an eBay score much higher than yours, unless you're selling on eBay, in which case, why are you going to sell it to me? Go sell it on your eBay store. Let's do an example. Somebody has an iPod mini, and they want to get $100 for it. And I say, well, listen, I'll give you $50. And you're right. You could get $100 if you sold it on eBay. But it's a very big if. There's a lot of factors that go into it. There's then eBay fees. Then you have to worry about shipping it. You have to actually go to the post office and ship it. You have to get the right packaging. You don't want to overpay for shipping. And then you're going to deal with the customer who's going to say, oh, you took too long in shipping, or there's a scratch that you didn't tell me about. And there's a lot of things that you have to deal with. And yeah, you would be getting paid for those things because you'd get more than I'm offering you. But it's about your time. You have another job. You're in school, because I did this in high school and college. So that was what I was. It's time. I'm saving you time, and I'm getting paid for the time that you're not taking. So let me get that job. We're both going to make money. You're going to have me take this dust collecting brick off your hand. In exchange, I'm going to give you cash today. So that was my sales pitch for the iPods. And it's the same with flipping houses. It's the same exact thing. Well, the concept is exactly the same. So when I was flipping iPods, I would ask friends for loans. And I said, listen, give me $500. In a few months, I'll give you back $600. And I did that a few times, and it worked out for me. My point is, I wanted to talk about how I got this house. So I got this house on auction.com. And auction.com is a really nice website for getting REO properties. REO means real estate owned. So it's a real estate owned by the bank. When somebody doesn't pay their mortgage, the bank says, I'm going to start the foreclosure process. And they do what's called a lis pendens. And that's basically opening a judgment against the homeowner. And they use the house as collateral. I mean, that's not the technical term, but that's basically they're holding it over your head, saying, well, we have the deed to your house, so pay us or we're going to take it back from you and evict you and then sell the house. So the bank basically holds a court hearing, which is what a courthouse auction is. And so they have a lawyer that represents them. The lawyer knows the amount that the bank needs to make good on the debt owed. So, for example, I think the debt owed on this house was $60,000. So when this house went to the auction, it would have gone. This is in Camden County, New Jersey. So it would have gone to the Camden County courthouse for auction, and there was a lawyer representing the bank, which is Wells Fargo. So Wells Fargo told their lawyer, okay, we need $60,000. So the opening bid is usually $100, and it's open to the public. So there's a bunch of people in the courthouse, and the opening bid is $100, and the lawyer says $20,000. And then somebody says, all right, I'll give you $30,000, and then $40,000, the lawyer, and then $50,000. The lawyer says $60,000, and everybody else is like, nah, that's too much. I haven't seen the house. I don't want to buy it. So then, since the lawyer bid 60,000, no one bid against him. The bank then owns the property. They don't. I don't believe they have to pay the 60,000 because they're the plaintiff. They're the on the other side, so they're the ones getting their own property back. So then it becomes a real estate owned property, real estate owned by the bank. So then the bank can either list it on the MLS and try and sell it, which, well, some of them sell like that, but a lot of them don't. Or it can list it on a place like auction.com. And on auction.com takes that listing. I assume they make some kind of deal with the bank, so they're getting paid because they must be getting paid somehow. So basically the whole process is this house went through 2 auctions. The first auction, the bank won it back, so it didn't get sold to the public. So then they listed it on auction.com, and starting bid I think on this house was 35,000 or 25,000, something pretty low. They have a reserve, so they have an undisclosed reserve price, which may have been 60,000. I don't know. Word on the street here, literally word on the street. I heard that the people who lived here owed 60,000 on the house. Once the property was listed on auction.com, I saw it because I was looking in the area, and I saw that this property starting bid was either 25 or 35,000. I drove by and I saw there were people still living in it, and I thought, I don't really want to deal with that because then you have squatters and it can be difficult in New Jersey especially to get them out. So I didn't deal with it, and I assume a lot of people didn't deal with it either because it ended up being 37,500 until the last like 3 hours of the auction. And I thought, well, 37, that's worth a drive by to see if the people are still there. So I actually drove by on the day that this auction was ending, and I was right outside the house here, and I looked at it and saw that there was nobody here, and I looked through the windows, and it was a mess. There was so much stuff in here. I don't want to talk ill on anybody I don't know, but the people here, from what I can tell, were hoarders. And you couldn't walk here. There was trash bags and things, clothes. I mean, it was insane. The value in inside the house would have certainly paid off their debt if they sold everything. But anyway, I don't know. Doesn't matter. So I saw that there was nobody living here, and I saw the notice on the door that said that it had been winterized and all that. So I knew if a house is winterized, the water shut off, so nobody's living here. So I then figured, okay, 37.5, I'll bid on that. And I said to myself, coincidentally, I said my top line would have been 65,000 to bid on this house. So I started bidding, and it went into a war. There was a couple other people that were bidding against me, and it got up to be 57.5. So it went up 20,000 in the last hour of the auction, and I won. And I just closed. Oh, today's the 3rd. So I'm sorry. I closed on the 31st on Halloween. Today's the 2nd. So today is day 3. 57,500. That was the amount. Then there was roughly 3,000 in closing costs. So total investment so far is just over 60,000, 60,500 or something like that. Maybe 60,001 or 61,000. We'll just call it 61,000 because there's costs, accrued and stuff. So that's what I think a lot of people are secretive about, is like how much they actually paid for the house. I don't really care about any of that. And for me, this is what I'm doing. The amount of hours that I spent getting this house, the amount of hours I'm going to spend working on this house and marketing this house, selling this house, staging this house. At the end of the day, I may make 30,000 and 20,000, 30,000 on the house when I sell it. But if I add up all those hours, those 100-hour weeks, it's going to be like 10 weeks. I could have gotten a regular job of course, I wouldn't have been able to work 100 hours on any regular job, but it's it's not going to be much more than probably $10 an hour. I don't know. I didn't do the math on it, but I don't like to do the math on it because I don't really want to know. I just want to know the bottom line. And so if you think about it like that, I'm just going through it really fast. While I'm young, while I can work 100 hours a week, I'll do it. And so, yeah, and I'm going to make this a fair house. I'm going to make this a fair price. I'm not going to list it astronomical. I'm going to list it actually undervalued a little bit because I want it to sell fast, and I want it to appeal. And there's a lot of houses for sale in this neighborhood. There's a lot of competition. Luckily, there's also a lot of buyers right now. And so that's the idea. My budget, I got a loan. How I started this whole thing, I got a loan for $96,000. And that has come down because there's been costs and different things. It went down a good $15,000. Some of the money I spent on my other company, which is a design company, in designing the houses to be, because I figured, well, I might as well pay it now while I've got the cash. And so some went there. Some has gone to the loan payments, which my loan payments for this loan are astronomically high, and I have to renegotiate that with my business partner. But we're in the process of doing that, and he understands that it's a little unfair, so we're going to clear that up. So at the end of the day, after I spent the $60,000 in buying this house, I only had roughly $21,000 left or so, and to put $21,000 into this house and sell it would not have been enough. In order to really fix this house up nice, I go in here, I've done construction, I've done tile setting, I've done demolition, I've done labor, I've done roofing, I've done skim coating, I've done everything. I don't master any of it, and I wouldn't do any of it alone, except demolition, which is what I'm doing now. But any of the skilled trades, I wouldn't do alone, but I know how they work. I've worked on jobs with them. But at most there's 2 weeks on any job. So I don't have a whole lot of experience, but I've been there and I've seen how it's done. And I worked for the last 6 years doing all those kinds of jobs so that I could be here today. So that's what I'm doing with that. And the idea a lot of people have with flipping houses is to say, oh, I'll do all the work myself and I'll save myself a whole bunch of money, so I can only put $20,000 into it, and that's just materials, and I can do all the work. Another really, really key point to all of this is I heard this from one of those instructional flipping DVDs, which I don't really believe in. And I think there were a lot of really good points in it, and the most useful thing that I got from it, there were two. One was that don't ever let anybody say that there's something you can't do, because you can. And don't be afraid. Just, you can do anything.
Do it! Just do it!
Whatever it is, you can do it. And I mean, look at President Trump. I don't really like the guy, but that's the American dream. I mean, if you think about it, that's the American dream. I'm going to cut that part out. I don't want to say that. So there's really, I mean, you can do anything. You really can. And it's just about how you do it. It's a strategy. And if you plan it out correctly and you do all your research and you get the right people on your team, you can do anything. So there's a lot of people that are naysayers, like, oh, well, the bubble's going to burst, so it's not a good idea to get into it. Well, no, it is, because another thing, not from that video, but on the same line, is when everybody's running out, you run in, because that means the market is undersaturated, it's dilute. So you go in a diluted market and you're the only person there, you're golden, you're set. the economy is meant to work. It will work because there are so many people and there is so much money. It's going to work in one way or the other. Doesn't matter. So anyway, so in that DVD set, he said, you can, whatever it is that you want to do, you can do it. And any money that you save by doing the work yourself, you're only saving yourself the salary you'd be paying to that guy. And if you're flipping houses, your salary is going to be 10 times higher than any laborer, which is true. So instead of spending your time working on a house, you should be spending your time getting another house. And if that means you have more cash, you have more capital to go do it, you're out on the streets or on the MLS or on auction.com or whatever platform you're using. I'm actually building another platform right now, so you'll be using that, which I will, when it's ready, be putting links on all these videos. So once you have the money to do that, that's what you need to be doing. And if you're spending your time working on the house, getting your hands dirty, you're making less money. So don't save yourself a painter's salary by painting the house. The painters make good money, but you'll make better money if you get another deal. And so that's the philosophy that I'm going with here, although a little counterintuitive because I'm doing a lot of the work. Right now, I don't have any more money. And since this is my main gig, I have another job, but it's a job where I'll work 2-3 days straight, and then I won't have work again for a couple of weeks. That's the interior design staging job. And so since that's what's going on, I have the time to be able to spend here and save myself some money because I don't have any of my own money. I'm broke. So I need to make money however I can. And right now this is the path of least resistance for me. So I'm doing that. Once I get more money, I won't be doing any work here anymore. I will be paying somebody to do it. And that actually just happened yesterday. I did get more money, but it's really only enough to finish this house. As I said, I had roughly $20,000. This house really needs like $30,000 to $50,000 to make it work, depending on the contractor you got. I said I just got another $30,000, which is enough to finish this house, and I have a little bit, which I'm going to use to build my platform, the website. And then it's not enough to actually get another house, so I am still needing to get more money to get another property, and I don't have that right now. So that's why I'm here. That's the whole thing. That's the philosophy. And this was a long video. I'll have to cut some out, and I hear my dog is barking now. So anyway, it's mostly me just stalling because I don't want to do any work here. I don't have the dumpster yet, so it makes it a lot harder. So that's it. Good luck flipping, and when my website's ready, go there for all your flipping needs.